Boom, boom. How's it going? How's it going? Welcome aboard. It is I, TJ, from M5 Successful Friends, and it is good having you around. And as you can see, I am running solo today. And as you know that in M5 Successful Friends, we're a podcast that stand out for what is untold stories for people like you and me who are on their journey in the property space, for them to be either learn from it, to get inspired, and to move on onto their journey so that they can start making a killing. And today I don't want to say today, but I've been privileged during this lockdown. Actually, it's one of those things that I've been grateful for that. Someone sent a post the other day on Facebook, and they said, "What will you be grateful for in this lockdown?" And I just want to reflect on that, because for me, within this lockdown, a couple of things have happened. I've had to meet great entrepreneurs from across the world that are doing amazing things, and I've been leaning in to understand what they do. And I have been privileged to be on a call, like I was on the recent calls. You can see on some of my other past videos that I've put in, some of our podcasts that we've put in, that I've labeled what I have learned from. And this has been the likes of Lecrae, the likes of John Maxwell, the likes of Trent Shelton. So I'm on this call, right? And on this call, basically what is happening is that each kind of like awesome individuals that are killing it in different spheres of businesses, not just primarily in the property space, but in different spaces. They are coming out and they are giving words of encouragement. Besides words of encouragement, what is it that makes them strong? What is it that makes them strong? And this is some of the nuggets that I have learned, and I am wanting to pass on to them, to you, because I know that potentially you are not able to be on that call. I know that potentially you were not invited, because there was an invitation that went out. But there's around about 20,000 entrepreneurs across the world that are on it. But as M5 Successful Friends, we don't hold back on information. The goal is that, or my goal is that, always I am able to share information out to you, to people like you and I, so that we can all grow. Apparently, they say that the world's richest people is 1%. That worries me. Like what the hell? Should we not have more people up there? So this is one of my goals, to make sure that from a financial freedom, at least your mind is strong, at least your head is strong, at least you can start doing things in whatever area that you're in. I'm a big advocate for property. That's what we do. I kind of like listen to all these nuggets, and I apply them in my journey as a father, as an ordinary dude, as an entrepreneur, as a leader in my community, and making sure that I am winning. So obviously you're not going to learn everything, right? Not everything is going to resonate with you, but at least maybe one thing is going to change your life down. One thing, right? So let's jump into it. So today I'm going to talk about what I learned from a lady, stunning lady. She looks awesome. She looks beautiful. I'm sure you have seen the picture. She's a mom of about 4 kids, and she blew my mind in many, many ways. I could relate from what she was talking about in many, many ways. And I just want to say respect. Yeah, respect to Julie. If you ever happen to see this video, respect to you. I'm hoping that one of these days I can have an opportunity where I can invite her on this podcast. When it's going to happen, I don't know. We'll put it out there, and then we'll invite it. But here's the thing, right, with Julie, and I'm just gonna try to attempt to pronounce her surname. I don't know if I'm doing it correctly, but it looks like to me it could be Julie Stoian, right? I just want to do justice upon Julie in her story. But this is what I learned. I'm gonna give you the story a little bit, and I'm going to tell you what I learned. The first time I heard this lady talking, she was talking about marketing in general. So she was talking about marketing, how she actually made a business from being a stay-at-home mom, and then eventually she figured out how does emails work. She figured out how to help other people. So put their products, take them to market, and she teaches this. That's one of the skills that she's got. And she helps you as well with some of the tools that she has. She's got an awesome website. It looks beautiful. I was actually thinking, hey, Taurai, had you not done your website, you could have stolen a couple of things from this website. But anyways, stealing? No, not really. Borrow isn't. That's the right term. Okay. My wife always said to me, hey, you're using the term stealing or stolen. That's a very strong word. I am learning to change the narrative of, I'm learning to change my words. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. But let's go back to the life of Julie. So basically, Julie, she grew up in the States. She's from America. And you know, if you're one of those people who are like me, who likes to Google, I'll say you can Google her anytime. And you can also pick up the story and maybe resonate a couple of things other than what I'm going to share, right? But because this is what I was able to gravitate. So basically, Julie grew up like many other people. She grew up in a Christian home. Her father had long left somewhere in between, and a mother remarried. So a mother remarried someone else, and she grew up. Life was good. She was a worship leader in church, and she went on to do everything, you know, what the Christian fraternity or way of living dictates. And she used to enjoy it. But long behold, she had a craving, like many other people. I could relate to this because I didn't grow up with my biological father. So she had her biological father somewhere out there, and she wanted to know who this guy is. So she reached out, and I could relate there because I also reached out roundabout when I was about maybe 15, 16 for the first time. And what I saw there was not what I wanted. And so I kind of like shut that door. And then eventually my dad came to me to look for me roundabout when I was 30. But that was like the first time I actually interacted with him when he was sober, when he was okay. The first time when I interacted with him, actually when I was 15, 16, all the time he was drunk, all the time. Like dude would wake up and then try to figure out where is this Lion Lager or whatever he was drinking. I don't know. But maybe that's why I don't like drinking. Maybe I don't know. But I'm beginning to enjoy, you know, taking a drink once in a while, and yeah. But nonetheless, back to Julie's story. She goes on now to meet her father, and they get to have a relationship. And she illustrates in a story that actually her father kind of like starts manipulating, playing with their mind. And you get people like that every day that manipulate your mind, start telling you that this is not right, this is right, ha, 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 follow this one, what, not what. But in a period of about 4 months, I think she said, if I remember very well, let's just say 4 to 6 months, she kind of like left everything that she had. So she was manipulated to leave everything that she had psychologically, from her family to her church to everything who she is. She moved on and she became someone else. I could easily relate into that because I remember when I met my dad for the first time round, I became this other child. And my foster mother, she kind of like reminded me a little bit later to say, yo, we could have lost you. It was, for me, it wasn't like a long period of time, like 4 months, but it was like a month. I think it was like 2 weeks or something like that, where I just went on and I just became a different person. I didn't want to sleep at home. I just wanted to be out there, right? And being out there, I was just trying to figure out, so where's this guy? Where's my dad? He was saying, let's meet at the pub. I'll go to the pub, you know? So, and I was now fascinated with this world of people that drink and people that have fun until 4 in the morning, you know? And this was the normal life that he used to lead. Nonetheless, back to Julie's story, she then realized that actually somewhere in between that, you know, this is the kind of the father that he is, and so he's being abusive and things like that. And then something else that I've got a girl child, right? So I cannot, this really like seriously knocked me out. the father then sexually abused her. Like what the hell? You know what I mean? Like seriously, like what the hell? Your own child. But obviously this guy is, I don't know, I don't know what he is, mentally disturbed, does not think, I don't know. But anyway, I'm glad that Julie does not talk about that journey, or should I say she didn't explain to us, why he did that. But it doesn't matter. It happened, and this was the circumstances that she saw herself in. Nonetheless, she goes on to continue, and life continued, and she started going back to herself. And out of that, she was a stay-at-home mom, and there were no opportunities that were coming by. And she's trying to figure out how to do life. And within that, she then starts now to figure out, oh, okay, she can use her emails to do this, or she can help out other people to do this. And she started using her faith a lot in terms of how to help other people in terms of progressing in life. Here is my lessons, what I eventually learned from Julie in all of the story. Though our stories kind of like are similar, but very different, and I want to say that, number one, I learned the fact that everyone has a story. It might be a good story or a bad story. It might be a negative one or a positive one, but everyone has a story. And whatever story it is, the world needs to hear your story. So it is of utmost importance that we tell our story. When we are telling our story, what happens? And this is what I learned. And I learned this very late, actually. I learned this maybe about 3-4 years ago, when I started actually hanging out more with Robert Kiyosaki in some of his trainings and things like that. And he just came up to me, and then he says to me, what's your name? And I said, my name was TJ. And then he said to me, is that your name? And I said, no, my full name actually is Tarai Jack. And then he says, okay, so why do you call yourself TJ? I said, well, people call me TJ. And he says, why are you not honoring who you are? What does your name mean? So I give him the explanation of my name, and he says to me, oh, it's a beautiful name. So my name means express yourself. And he says to me, it's a beautiful name. So what does TJ mean? And I was like, nothing. And he says to me, you have to honor who you are. Number one, that's what you need to do. If you don't honor who you are nothing. You don't have an identity. So sometimes I get upset when people call me TJ and things like that, or I used to get upset. It doesn't faze me anymore. But I do love my name, Taurai. It's cool. It means something, right? But back to the story of actually who we are and what you can do is that now that you're telling your story, there is so many people that can be helped out there by you telling your story. Because there are so many people that are in a bad space, mentally, physically, in all of those things. And when they see other people, I don't want to say other people that are broken, but anyways, broken crayons, crayons still right anyways, you know what I mean? So we can still make great things out of our brokenness. And out of that, Julie mentioned the fact that, as she continues with telling a story, I could see that not only does it help the other people, and I've learned this from obviously seeking counsel and things like that, that the shoulder that is, the weight that is on your shoulders of carrying the story, the moment you start telling it to other people, it becomes easier emotionally. So you start getting to move on. And that's what happens. So not only are you telling your story to show out the world and say, hey, this is my story, but you can tell your story also from a point of sharing the Lord with other people. That's point number one. Point number two is you do not know who you could be impacting with your story, all right? You could relate, there's so many people that could relate to you, and because now you are moving on from the one step to the next step of what you're doing, be it in business and so on, you could help someone by just being relatable. There are some other people that will never come through to Bill Gates, for instance, because people just think that Bill Gates has got money. So how do I get hold of him? Oh, I can't. I need to have millions. That's not the truth. The truth is that he is accessible. The truth is that people will only be able to relate to him or to a person like him if they can relate to your everyday story. So how amazing is that? So right now I can relate to Julie. My mind is opened up in terms of what she can teach, because I think she is very much like me. Her background is the same. She looks the same to me, but something like that. So how can you help others? You can help others by just opening up and tell your story. The other thing that I also realized is that, or that I learned, was that Julie she struggled in her faith, even though, God was always there, even though she had been a very strong person. And sometimes as we walk in our faith, we kind of like think, oh, we are here and things are not working out. Or should I say that maybe things start not to work out well, and we start thinking or not wanting to have faith. And what I've realized is that this is the lesson that I've learned in my business, is that things will go wrong. In my life, things will go wrong. But having faith is something that can help you to carry on to the next mile. It's something that can help you to carry on to your big vision or what you are trying to do. But if you do not have that, then there comes a problem, because now you have no faith in anything. You're not looking forward to anything at all. But in all of this, right, the whole being, God still blesses you along the way, even though you're believing in him or you're not believing in him. And that's the reality of God, right? The last and third thing that I want to say I did take away from Julie is that it many a times, because, and I'm going to speak from a South African context, because a lot of us, we are interracial, denominations, interbeliefs, and things like that. We are scared to demonstrate our faith to other people that we hang out with, especially in business, because we are scared to be losing the opportunity that is there. And that's one of the things that I've been fortunate enough to be standing strong upon. And I actually don't care. You're Muslim, you are atheist, you are whoever you are. But if it is my meeting, if it is my thing, or it is something that I am driving, hey, if it's opening on prayer, I'm going to open it up in prayer, because that's what I do, right? Or if it is talking about my faith, I'm going to talk about my faith very openly, because it's my faith, right? Hopefully, and then obviously, I am trying to depict the fact that my business or my being and my faith are not separate people. I am who I am because of my faith. Had it not been for God, I could have long died when I was maybe 3 months, when my biological mother left me out there, dumped me somewhere in a ground, and people walked by. When I was picked up, there was a whole lot of ants around and things like that. I could have died there, because nobody knew that I was there. Nobody knew that I was there. So I could have died in that moment. But for me, I know factually it was God who was with me at that moment. I've had other instances, right? Many instances where I have seen God moving. My entire business, it's unexplainable how it moves for the ordinary person. So again, it is my faith that makes me stand from one point to the next, to the next point, to the next point. Baby steps whilst we're getting to the big vision. I'm hoping that this solo podcast have been helpful to you. I was really impacted by Julie with how she sees lives, that number one, and how also she has now grown a multi-million dollar business, right? From just sharing her story and living life comfortably in the faith that she is in, and still being a mom. I know it's so difficult, because my wife, we've got 2 kids, and we struggle with those 2 kids sometimes in terms of juggling time, of quality time and quantity also, or just being available to do simple things. And there she is, she builds a multi-million dollar business, and she got 4 kids. I was inspired, and I'm hoping that this short talk has been able to inspire you. Hey, this is TJ from M5 Property Addicts, and representing M5 Successful Friends today here. And I'm grateful for the guys at M5 Property Addicts that gives me the opportunity, to have these podcasts. They sponsor them most of the time, actually all the time, to make sure that this information is readily available for you whenever you want. But the point, it can be done. We just need to lean in and start taking action. Whatever you believe in, however you're going to start, whatever your story is, your background don't matter. You're not going there. What matters is the future. What are you doing to change it? It is TJ. It's been great chatting with you. Cheers. God bless. Bye.